10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Life is a fragile gift, and humans are just a minuscule element of a vast cosmos. A realization that formed with the 1972 release of the image, The Blue Marble. Over time, the human race has taken drastic steps that deteriorated life and broke it down into fragments of survival. Excessive geoengineering attempts, with techniques like cloud seeding and marine cloud brightening, have led to a permanent cloud cover over the Earth's surface. Sunlight has become a scarce resource. The air is now choked with chemicals in the atmosphere, making it impossible to breathe without masks and air filters. The atmosphere is now filled with heavy greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane, trapping terrestrial heat, driving global temperatures to new heights. Failed water management experiments have contaminated local supplies, and reliance on underground water has caused the water table to plummet. Severe soil degradation and lack of sun have caused shortage of food crops. People began relying on synthetic food sources to meet their daily dietary needs. Nations and corporations had been launching satellites and rockets at an unprecedented rate. The number of satellites in the lower Earth orbit grew exponentially over the years, reaching nearly 5 billion since the start of the exploration. This massive surge of debris in the lower Earth orbit triggered Kessler's syndrome, sending orbital debris crashing into Earth. Fall of communicational infrastructure compelled governments to come together after localized administration became impossible. Salvageable satellites were sent up to the higher Earth orbit free from debris. Despite this, government monitoring and prediction systems contradicted data, making them unusable. This forced governments to sign treaties with corporations, who provided them with the surveillance satellites at the expense of granting them commercial access to space. These clusters of satellite and monitoring interfaces marked the formation of a global surveillance and monitoring interface called the Horizon Stack. Using its absolute surveillance, the stack ranks regions across the planet, prioritizing those with the highest ore deposit and throughput. Worsening life situations on Earth pushed the need for orbital living, leading to opening of mining zones that dug out materials needed for construction of orbital infrastructure. The base of the elevator has 5 different sections, each handling the movement of different types of materials: human, food, water, minerals, and waste. This is the main aspect of the elevator, the graphene tether, on which all the climber modules are attached for upward and downward movement. The graphene tether is encased in a protective layer that keeps the internal workings safe from the debris. The Middle Earth Orbital Docking Station is used by the orbital colonies in the lower altitudes. This station hosts exchange of materials and also acts as a tether for colonies to move upwards. At the top of the orbital elevator lies the Higher Earth Orbital Docking Station, which connects the Earth's surface to the orbital colonies, enabling exchange of resources and materials. Earth was made a resource, newer mines were opened. Specialized mining rigs, which were suited for use on various terrains, came into operation. Stack started ranking regions based on ore throughput and presence of vital minerals required for space expansion. This ranking was done to prioritize reconstruction efforts in areas with higher scores, in case of infrastructural damage due to falling debris from the sky and natural calamities. Miners are provided housing by corporations, equipped with climate control and access to clean drinking water, which is a dream for other people, making mining an extremely desirable job. People started getting ranked on basis of job, health, debt, and behavior. Path upward for the non-wealthy was blocked by these individual viability scores. The orbital colonies are made up of 3 different tiers. At the top are the wealthy elites who buy their way in. The next layer is occupied by contract-based labor, bought up on the basis of their personal viability score. The last layer comprises of the stack's governing offices. Within the orbital colonies, the elites have access to personal transportation pods, while the labor forces use a hyperloop system to move around. On ground, cloud extraction is used to collect and purify atmospheric water, making it as a luxury product in comparison to toxic groundwater. Crops in the colonies are grown in sterile aeroponic chambers that mimics the Earth's natural conditions. Standard currency for all transactions, both surface and orbital, is called Nove, a cashless mode enabled by both biometric scans and personal electronic devices. Trade exists between orbital colonies and the surface, where materials like ores, food, and life support systems are exchanged. Down on Earth, the ranking system has given rise to a new class of interpreters. Brokers, data shamans, and former stack engineers work to decode the encrypted indices and leaderboards. They translate abstract scores into everyday survival strategies, into rumors, and into myths about how the system truly operates. Alongside them, new resistance formations begin to emerge, known as the shadow stacks. These shadow stacks are loose networks of demoted personnel, permanently excluded citizens, and so-called revolutionaries. They operate underground or within spaces where the stack cannot reliably see. These unstable zones, categorized by fallen debris, become sanctuaries of resource fields. The shadow stacks salvage whatever they can from the wreckage of satellites and infrastructure. They build makeshift rockets, improvised transmitters, and fragmented satellite systems. These shadow stacks raid the orbital elevators, deploying digital trojans and hijack supply chains mid-transit. Using stolen materials from mining colonies, they create parallel shadow markets, through which they can manipulate ore flow. These changes in resource movement cause upward and downward alteration of regional scores. They venture into the orbital debris belt, a region the stack refuses to enter because of its risk and unpredictability. But for the resistance, it's a frontier of opportunity. To survive on ground, they tap into existing electrical grids, stealing energy from mining colonies and cities to power hidden settlements. On Earth, design becomes a regulated practice. Every building, every piece of infrastructure must be approved to prove it won't lower the score. This leads to rise of counter-designers, architecture that exploits blind spots, spaces that cannot be categorized or measured, and therefore cannot be ranked. Design is no longer about optimization, but invasion. Every act of design becomes a decision to work with the stack or against it. We are already developing our own individual viability scores based on the content we post and watch, as well as our credit scores and legal records. If Horizon Stack were to be established tomorrow and you weren't wealthy enough to buy your way in, where would you stand?